Barnaby's, Shock Till You Drop. Episode 9. 31 Flavors. You scream, I scream, we all scream for, you know the rest. Hey, what's up? I'm Tommy. No, not the same Tommy from the deli, that's a different story. Totally different Tommy. Anyway, I work ice cream here at Barnaby's. It's only part-time, but some time is better than no time, right? Besides, I'm going to college to be a nurse. Yeah, that's right, a nurse. Don't judge. It's a noble profession. At least that's what my mom tells me. Anyway, I've been here about a year and a half now. It's pretty cool. Get it? Cool. Ice cream. Never mind. I'm bad at telling jokes. I moved out to LA a few years back and tried my hand at stand-up. Yeah, I ended up doing sit-down. Forget it, I'm done. Anyway, I was sitting at home the other night, bored out of my mind, watching YouTube. I came across all these AI narrated stories, set in a place called Barnaby's, an old grocery store. Anyway, after listening to a few, I got to thinking, hey, I work at a place called Barnaby's. I know a guy named Stuart, and a guy named Steven. I remember when Zeke went running through the store with that deli chick. What? Mr. Barnaby is collecting stories? I didn't know anything about it. Man, nobody ever tells me anything. Anyway, check this out. I'll turn it into Boss Man tomorrow. It was last June, the dead of summer, hot as hell. It was so hot that Satan called and wanted to borrow some of our heat. Yeah, I tried. Anyway, it was about 9 o'clock in the morning. We just received our ice cream delivery. Stuart unloaded it and put it in the ice cream box. That's what we call the freezer, a box. Now, if you've been listening to all these stories, like I have, then you already know that Barnaby's is a very old store. We still get our ice cream in pallet igloos. For those of you who don't know what a pallet igloo is, it's a large blue insulated box that's mounted to the top of a pallet. Some have doors on them, others have those thick pieces of plastic hanging down. Anyway, it helps to keep the ice cream frozen. It kind of resembles one of those porta potties, like you would see at an outdoor rock concert. I love rock music. Yeah, Nickelback rules. Anyway, I grabbed a couple carts and started to unload the igloos. There were 3 of them. I unloaded the first one onto 2 separate carts, took them to the sales floor, and worked them to the shelf. Then I put all my back stock away. That's all the freight that wouldn't fit on the shelf. We store it in the ice cream box in case we need it later. But you probably already know that. Anyway, I then started unloading the second one. I got about halfway down and saw what looked like a little piece of ice in the back of the box. I didn't think much of it. It's a freezer, so there's gonna be ice, right? Anyway, I removed the next layer of ice cream and discovered that what I thought was ice was really a fingertip, connected to a hand, covered in ice. What the hell? Curiosity then took over, and I started flinging ice cream out of the box. Now, I like to think of myself as a pretty tough guy. I can handle anything, nerves of steel, and all that. But, what I found in the back of that box made me scream like a little girl. It was a dead body, a frozen dead body. Better yet, a frozen, decapitated, mutilated, dead body. There were frozen arms, frozen legs, frozen hands, frozen feet, and a frozen head. All of it, all thrown into the back of the box. The blood had mixed with the ice and settled in the bottom of the box. There were ice crystals formed on the parts, which were all frozen together. It looked like a sick game of Twister. It was horrifying. I just stood there, frozen in shock. No pun intended. I didn't even notice that Marcus had walked into the back room until he started vomiting all over the place, repeatedly, breaking me out of my trance. Thank God none of the customers saw it. These weirdos would have probably took selfies with the body. Freakin' sickos. Anyway, I ran into the break room and called 911 from the payphone. Old store, remember? Marcus went to the bathroom to clean himself up. Anyway, the cops, the coroner, and the forensic team showed up. It looked like a scene out of CSI Miami. I loved that show. Anyway, the cops took our statements, while the forensic team used little space heaters from aisle 9 and a handheld hammer and chisel to break apart the pieces. As the ice began melting, the pieces started falling out of the box, half frozen. Bloody water spilling all over the floor, mixing with the melted ice cream. Steven had one hell of a mess to clean up. Anyway, the head fell out of the box and almost rolled through the double doors and onto the sales floor. I yelled loudly, "Heads up. Sorry about that. I can't help myself." Anyway, the forensic team finished thawing out the pieces and arranged them accordingly on the back room floor. They were all there. The skin was all clammy and wrinkled. The meat hanging out of them looked like soggy ground beef. I got the sudden craving for a hamburger. Anyway, the smell was immense. It smelled like Satan's butt crack. To be honest, this is what made me decide to become a nurse, because after the initial shock, this was quite interesting. The coroner put the pieces in bags, loaded up the truck and left. The forensic team left as well. The cops took the igloo as evidence. They had to open one of the loading dock doors, and load it onto a flatbed tow truck. It fell over twice. Oh crap, it's that late already, I gotta go. I'm late for class. See you later.